got the touch, boom, boom, boom. You got the power. That's where I'm going to stop, because that's enough. I don't need to get in trouble with licensed music, so we'll just leave it there.
These are not the bad guys.
Why did you cut the door?
What? No, it was already like that, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
It was.
Yes.
It was already like. Yeah, that's right.
Transformers 1 is directed by Josh Cooley with a screenplay by Eric Pearson, Andrew Barrer, and Gabriel Ferrari, and a story by Andrew Barrer and Gabriel Ferrari. The film stars Chris Hemsworth, Brian Tyree Henry, Scarlett Johansson, Keegan-Michael, Steve Buscemi, Laurence Fishburne, and John Hamm. According to IMDb's plot synopsis, the untold origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron, better known as sworn enemies, but who once were friends, bonded like brothers, who changed the fate of Cybertron forever. Side note, Transformers. I've been a fan ever since I was a little kid. My dad has been a fan of the series. He's loved it. Ever since the original series, he has been a massive fan of it, and so he got me into it. And while I have seen some of the original series, I would like to go back and watch them. I, too, have found some things for Transformers that I think is just awesome. I think it is just a cool series as a whole. I know it's not like the most amazingly like well-crafted thing. It's dumb. It's a bunch of robots just fighting each other, but yeah, it's just you love to see it. And I grew up with some of the things, whether it be some of the shows or even the games like War and Fall for Cybertron. Shout out to those games. Those games are awesome. But of course, I can't talk about Transformers without mentioning the thing I grew up, or at the very least, people my age grew up with Transformers. And that is the Michael Bay movies. I grew up with these films when I was young, and I saw, of course, Bumblebee, which I think is the best of the live-action films. And I thought Rise of the Beast was pretty good. Actually, in preparation last year when I was watching Rise of the Beast, I realized to myself, okay, I think I understand why either OG fans or just fans of the series don't like what Michael Bay has done. When I was a kid, I liked them, but now as an adult, yeah, I can understand why they get a lot of hate, because Michael Bay just the most bare-bone-esque things with Transformers other than just his usual shtick, whether it be sex jokes, dick jokes, ethnic jokes, product placements, really bad editing, and yeah, I can understand why they're hated. So when it was announced that there would be a Transformers film that is completely animated, would go back to the roots of the original series, but also be an origin story, I was actually kind of curious. I was actually one of the few people that said, I have hope in this. I have hope that this will be good. But fans didn't know how to feel about this, and ever since, I would want to say Transformers The Last Night, things have gotten worse for the Transformers movies in terms of money. Quality, maybe it has gotten a little bit better, but money-wise, they have kind of substantially decreased. And after seeing this movie, I gotta be honest with you guys, if you are a Transformers fan, this is what I think fans of this series have been asking for. This movie was awesome. I had such an amazing time with this, especially seeing it with a bunch of friends. Best theater experience, or at least one of the best theater experiences I had, and I loved this movie from start to finish. And this may surprise you. There's no negatives. I couldn't find a single negative with this movie that I sat there and I said, that's a problem. No, everything about this movie is just perfect. So I'm just going to jump into it and just say, here are the positives. The voice acting is fantastic. Everyone in the cast is excellent throughout, from Chris Hemsworth all the way to John Hamm. Everyone is having a lot of fun making this movie. You can tell that the energy and passion with these actors lending their voice to these characters comes from a place of not just love but sincerity, but also too showing how much fun Transformers can be. And a lot of people may underestimate Chris Hemsworth and Brian Tyree Henry. I think they work well in the movie, and to Brian Tyree Henry, if he wants to keep on voicing Megatron, man, I am all for it. I am down, because he is awesome. I think he's great. I think he's fantastic. But just like I said, everyone. Chris Hemsworth is also amazing. He kind of almost comes close to, near the end of the movie, to being what Peter Collins would do. And of course, everyone loves Peter Collins' playing the voice of Optimus Prime, but seeing Chris Hemsworth lend his voice doesn't feel like a parody, it doesn't feel like a mimic. It feels like his own, but also in a way kind of subtly putting in the things that Peter Cullen would say. And everyone in the cast brings it their A game. The direction is phenomenal. Director Josh Cooley embraces the cool and vibrant world of the Transformers series. The world of Cybertron hasn't felt more alive than it's ever been, I think, ever since the original series. And I'm being honest, because the movies, they hardly do it, and that's really disappointing because of how cool Cybertron is as a planet and where the Transformers comes from and how this world is built. It's all because of Josh Cooley and how he directed this all by showing how much that Cybertron is a lived-in mining world that is trying to survive or at least thrive off of Energon, and their leader pretty much playing himself as being like the person that everyone idolizes. It's all done so well because of how he directs the film and how he brings a lot of energy and excitement into what I think Transformers movies have been kind of missing a lot of the times, especially in the live action film. The action is awesome. Watching the action scenes play out felt fun and exciting. Some of the best since the original series. Listen, I understand the original series, it had limited animation, I get, but you can't deny the original series with it, how the action goes down is pretty awesome. And so watching this movie, how the characters fight, actually was kind of cool and kind of badass, if I'm not gonna lie, because of how much energy and excitement was put into how characters fought, how visceral it can feel. It was just a lot of fun to see that. The music is excellent. Composer Brian Tyler creates a score that captures the tone and style of the franchise as a whole, truly embodying the spirit of the original series as well. Brian Tyler does a good job of making it feel new, but also recognizable, and making it so that way it doesn't feel like it's vastly different from the Transformers series. Because with the Bay movies, the scores are fine, they're alright, but let's be honest, they just can't match with what the OG series or even some of the other series that Transformers has come out with has done, which is make a score that makes it feel uplifting but also kind of heroic and badass in that sort of way. And so having Brian Tyler create a score that is an homage to the original but also making it for new fans, I think is such a good way of bridging the gap between fans. The story is stellar. Seeing the origins of Optimus Prime and Megatron go from friends to enemies was investing, truly making the portrayal hit hard. As much as we know what the story is and how it's going to end, you can't deny it still gets you. You go along with it because of Optimus Prime and Megatron, or in this movie, Orion Pax and D16, and how what happens in this movie changes their lives forever. And you understand their motivations. You understand, especially Megatron, D16, you understand why he's angry near the end of the movie. You fully understand the importance of why his hatred has driven him to become evil, and for him and Optimus to now no longer be friends because of the methods that they do. And very much so, I am very happy to, at the very least, see a film that has a lot of heart to it, because the Bay movies don't have that. The animation is gorgeous. Every scenery and frame looks beautiful. This animation is on the same level of Disney/Pixar and DreamWorks. It's incredible of how much of this futuristic, but it's also retro, like synthwave. Like there's a moment in, at least you can even see in the trailer, but even in the movie, where like the sun, one of those like synthwave suns, or just something that you put in the background. It looks incredible. It's gorgeous of how all the colors and textures, as well as the explosions, it all looks insanely detailed. The writing is solid, sharply witty and serious, with character motivation and conflict. Also, writers Pearson, Bearer, and Ferrari made probably the funniest Transformers film to date, because let's be honest, the Bay movies, they try and they fail so badly. Maybe there's like a few moments where you can chuckle or actually laugh, but for the most part, most of the humor falls flat because of Bay and his writer's style of comedy is just so bad. And so it can be so offensive too. So to have writers that actually can make and craft jokes that can work, as well as crafting a script that feels in a way sincere to the series, and also making it feel so dramatic in certain areas, I think helps the film, especially with making the portrayal feel as hard-hitting as it can. The pacing and runtime is perfect. The film doesn't slow down nor feel like it's rushing. With a runtime of 1 hour and 44 minutes, it all feels completed. It doesn't feel like nothing was skipped. It doesn't feel like nothing was rushed through in any sort of way. No, this all feels like a completed film from start to finish, and I bought every second of this movie feeling like This is the concept that writers had for this movie. The editing is smooth. Every scene feels constant and fluent throughout. Not any of the quick editing that Michael Bay's films have brought, because when I watched the Bay movies last year in preparation for Rise of the Beast, the editing was bad. The editing was terrible. It was super quick and shoddy, and excusing Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast, the Bay movies, his movies, have just been terribly edited so badly. So to have a Transformers film finally have actual good editing that feels fluent and feels connective with the film makes the experience a lot of fun. Cinematography is amazing. Cinematographer Christopher Bay manages to keep the world of Cybertron and every action sequence exciting. Truly a beautiful shot animated film. How the world of Cybertron is displayed is because of the cinematography, and how the action is captured is because of the camera work of capturing it all on this very wide but also intense and visceral level that it makes people get excited to watch. And I found myself really getting riveted on how the film was going and how it was progressing because of how the camera was panning and how it was really following our characters and how it was really feeling connective with the film. This is easily the best Transformers film since the original series. Maybe some people can argue me with that, but I agree that this is probably the best one out of the many Transformers films. It's perfect in every way. This film is really more than meets the eye. I am giving Transformers 1 a 10 out of 10. My first of the year. It's a fantastic film. If you are a fan, please watch it. Please watch it. Because it sucks to me that this movie didn't get enough appreciation. And what's happening as of recently, it sucks. Because I love this movie, and I would love for them to make a trilogy of it, because that's what they wanted to do. So, if you can, if you have the chance, do watch it. If you have kids who are trying to get into Transformers, I think you would show them this, and they would have an amazing time as well. Now I will be giving my review for Megalopolis, and then soon The Wild Robot, and then September can be done. So, yes, look forward to those reviews and other movie TV show reviews coming soon.